I thought about making this video. I thought it would be good to share this out kind of in a timely manner and let you guys know a bit about myself, a bit about my story, and why I view America the way I view America. Sometimes it's very difficult for me when I think about where my allegiances lie. I was born and raised in Armenia. As a matter of fact, I was born under the USSR rule of Armenia, the communist rule of Armenia in 1985. And I moved to the United States when I was 11 years old. By that time, communism had fallen. Armenia had gone through its revolution, was at war with Azerbaijan, still is at war. My family had applied to move to the United States in the 1980s. And so it took us about 10 years for that to happen. And so when we moved to the United States, I've spent most of my life within extremely Armenian surroundings. A lot of my friends growing up were Armenian, spoke Armenian at home. And so national identity, kind of ethnic identity, was extremely important. At the same time, I grew up in the United States. And I would say ideologically, I'm an American. I think the American experiment, I think the American ideology is second to none. It is by far the greatest system of government. I don't want to go into details about that, but I think it's not perfect, but it's actually the best we could do if explained and defined in a proper way. Are there issues in politics? Absolutely. Are there issues in regards to a free market economy? Absolutely. But as the great Milton Friedman would say, can you show me evidence of something that works better? And the reality is we can't. Not just yet. Maybe we will in the future, but we can't yet. And so I view America very dear to me. I view Armenia very dear to me. But I want to make a distinction here. For me, it is the people. It is not a commitment to the nation state. Because as Armenians have experienced throughout their history, you can have a people group, but not a nation state. See, Armenia's been around for a very long time, and depending who you ask, that goes back as far as you could possibly think. And the Armenian people have been throughout a lot. There's been a time where Armenia was a pretty strong and great empire, and there have been times where it's practically been, non-existent, been stuck in between empires almost all throughout its history, whether it was the Roman Empire and the Persian Empire, and Armenia was stuck in between that, or before that, whether Armenia was battling and competing for power with Assyria and Babylon and Greece, whether after that you're thinking about the Mongolian hordes that came riding through Armenia, and the Islamic caliphates and the Ottoman Turks, the Russians afterwards. So Armenia's been through and seen a good amount of empires come and go. One of the cool things about Armenia is that you actually see the fingerprints of all these nations who've come and gone. And I would say, for the most part, those fingerprints aren't good ones. I kind of want to speak about this because commitment to the people, the commitment to the ideology, the commitment to the history is what really matters for me. See, I guess if I was growing up and a mature individual during those communist years, I would love, as I do, the Armenian people, but I would very much be against the political system. It's important for us as Americans to look at our system, to look at the American system and say, what do we love about our people? What do we love about our nation? And what really comes to the surface is this, that being an American is really about ideology. It's not about the color of your skin. It is not about whether you are a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, whether you're an atheist or whatever you may be, whether you're someone like me who's stuck in between cultures. The reality is, being an American is being an individual who is committed to an ideology. And the ideology is founded on an amazing, solid rock. And it is penned in these words, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the ideology. This is something that a lot of people move to the United States with a hope and a dream of accomplishing. The right to live, the right to life, the right to be free, to have freedoms, in comparison to countries where people came from, where your rights were trampled underfoot. And the most important aspect of this is that these rights are not rights that the government gets to give us, but these are rights that are given to us in the law of nature. These are rights that are given to us as human beings by the creator of the universe. This is why within American politics and American society, whenever you had movements, right, whether it was the abolitionist movement, whether it was the civil rights movement, any movement, if properly conducted, is not asking for the government to give us rights, but rather it goes back to those foundational words and says, we already have these rights. It is not in your power to take these rights away from us. It is not even in your power to give us these rights, but it is in your power to recognize these rights. This concept is being lost in American society. And I look at American society, again, sometimes I look at American society from the outside, and I kind of think to myself, and it really breaks my heart that the younger generation, I'm generalizing here, but we get a younger generation that does not know the importance of these words. This is a younger generation that doesn't even know these words. It doesn't even know the philosophical underpinnings of these words. And yet there's a great deal of conversation about rights. See, there's a reason that the founders of these United States did not list out 1,000 rights. They listed out 3 most fundamental rights. Now, those are broken down in the Constitution of the United States, but there are 3 fundamental rights. These rights are neither given to us by the government, they're neither given to us because there's a consensus. These rights are given to us by God, and it is the responsibility of any government that actually cares for its people to recognize these rights, to allow for a freedom where people enjoy these rights. So on this 4th of July, I want to encourage you to go back and read these foundational documents. Reconsider your positions currently. It doesn't matter where you stand and what your view of things are. Go back and read. Understand the foundational framework. And if you need to change your mind on it, go ahead and change your mind on it. And what's really cool is that you can change your mind on these things because you have the freedom to do so. Thank you guys very much for watching this. Again, if you find this beneficial, if you've enjoyed it, share it out, subscribe, and make sure to comment below if you agree or disagree. Let's continue the conversation. God bless you guys and take care.